Hi everybody. Today's video I would like to talk about a John Deere 1240 plateless planter that I bought. So earlier this spring, I was looking for a corn planter to plant sweet corn. And I came upon this particular planter on an ad on Facebook Marketplace. It wasn't too far away. The price wasn't too bad. So Chris and I went up and looked at it, put some money in my pocket to make sure if it was something that I wanted, I would buy it and bring it home. And when we got there, it was about a 2-hour drive. When we got there, I took a look at it, and it wasn't quite as nice as the pictures showed, but the guy lowered the price, and so I bought it. Brought it home, did a bunch of cleaning to it. I mean, there was moss growing on this planter, and at one point I considered repainting the whole thing, and some of you on that video earlier this spring where I talk about this planter said just clean it up and use it, and that's what I did. So this is a plateless planter, and going into this I knew nothing at all about a plateless planter. Now Dad had a John Deere 494A, and then from that he went to a John Deere 7000. So we never had a plateless planter like this before. I looked on YouTube trying to find some information about this planter. I found nothing really other than people that had bought theirs and they were out planting with it, but nothing to show the operation of it. So that's the purpose of this video. If you're out there looking for a planter like this and you want to know how it works, that's why I wanted to do this video and show you, in my limited experience with this planter, what I found out. So first of all, we're going to do a little walk around and show you the different components of the planter. This is a 1240 4-row plateless planter. The fertilizer hoppers are a little bit rusty. I'm not using dry fertilizer anyway, so I'm not going to use those. But I am going to at least fix them so that when I do sell this planter, they're in better shape for the next person. The planter, when I bought it, didn't have the marker arms. Found a fella nearby that sells a lot of 494 planter parts, and these are the same arms that go on a 494. Ended up putting a new marker on there. The marker selector that would be right here, oops, sorry about the shadow, control marker was rusted tight. I did get everything apart, I just haven't got around to putting the control marker back in use. Original tires, and I mean they're in bad shape, but good enough for what little bit of sweet corn that I plant. Get out of that shadow again. The difference between a plateless planter and a plate planter is in these seed boxes. Sorry about the shadow, folks. We're going to lift one up. Down in here, you can see the hole that's opening. The hole that is open is for corn. And there's another one over here that you would open up to plant beans. And that control to change them is right here. The fingerless unit is inside this housing. And I'm going to take that housing off, and I'm going to show you how the fingers pick up the corn and then deposit them into the soil. So I'll be right back after I get this removed. There's 3 bolts that hold this housing to the planter. Just take those 3 bolts off and you're able to remove this housing, and then you'll be able to see the fingerless planter mechanism. There's a brass bushing right here that sometimes I understand that you need to replace that. The other thing is this stainless steel insert. I'm hoping the camera picks that up well. Can get wore. John Deere still has them. I replaced this set with new ones. You can see they were pretty bad. So that was about one of the first things that I did, was order those and get them in this planter. I spoke earlier about this planter having the capability of planting beans. I've not done it, but I'm going to assume you would pull the hairpin, pull off the washer, the spring, and flip this bean cup around and probably put it back on. I can't speak with any kind of knowledge about that. I haven't done it. Like I said earlier, Dad never had this kind of planter, so I don't know. But I do know you can plant. Our neighbor had this planter in a 6-row, and he planted dark red kidney beans with it, so I'm sure it's capable of planting a variety of beans. So back to the fingerless part. As you can see, these little fingers, they go around a circular motion, obviously, as the planter goes forward. These fingers open up and then will close. Now, the corn, the seed, will travel down that tube and fall down into this pocket down here at some level. At that level is where a finger will pick up a kernel of corn, sometimes 2. As it comes around, the finger closes, and when it gets up to this point, there's little dimples that allow one of those kernels of seed, if there's more than one in a finger, to fall out. And then as it gets to this opening, it dispenses the seed down into that hole. It falls down and gets planted into the soil. I'm going to demonstrate with some corn that I have here how this works, the rotation, and how the fingers work. So I'm going to shut this off for a little bit, load that up with corn, and bring you back and show you how that mechanism works in a plateless planter. Okay, I've got some corn in each one of these fingers. You can see they're opened up really wide down here. They don't really close and grab it until it gets about here. So there's no purpose in me putting the corn down here where the level probably is. I'm going to rotate this now, and we'll see how these kernels go through the progression and fall through the opening. Well, that one didn't work. Popped right out. I don't know if you've seen that kernel drop into the housing. There's a rubber, and I don't even know how to describe it. There's a rubber, lost for words, compartment, I guess, that each time that kernel goes in there, there's a paddle that picks it up or holds it in place and then dispenses it at the bottom. I'm hoping that shows up how that kernel drops on through. I'm sure you get the idea anyway. They say, and it only makes common sense, to not oil or grease this. You can put a little dab of grease on the inside of that bushing for this here, but don't put any oil or grease on the rest of those finger units. Use graphite instead. So I hope that covers how the fingerless mechanism works on a 1240 John Deere planter. I'm going to show you also how you can adjust your seed rate and fertilizer rate. I'm going to do a close-up of where that seed goes into that compartment. And it's a rubber disc with little fingers on it, and that seed will travel down through here and dump here. I'm going to try to do two things at once, so bear with me. I'm going to try to film and spin this shaft at the same time, so you'll be able to see the corn does actually drop through. There we go. There went another one. You get the idea. So now I'm going to show the sprockets that are used to adjust your seed corn population and your fertilizer rate. Last thing I want to talk about in this video, the operation of seed corn population and fertilizer, and that's changed from these sprockets. That would be your seed corn and your bean population. This set of sprockets you would adjust for fertilizer. There's a chain that runs off the wheel up to that cross shaft. Cross shaft is right there, goes across to that set of sprockets. And that's how everything is propelled. Ground driven. Old school, old style. These old planters planted a lot of acres, and they're obviously antiques, dinosaurs by today's standards, but some people still are using them. I know some people still use them to actually plant their corn and beans with. And a lot of people are using these planters for seed corn, or I'm sorry, for feed plots, food plots, and sweet corn. So I hope if there's anybody out there that is looking for information on a John Deere 1240 planter and how to set it up, what its functions are, will find this video helpful. I'm going to wrap it up now, call it a video, and I want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you for all the subscribers, the views, and the comments. And until next time, take care and God bless.